YouTube, Awesome Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 10. So, this episode was the follow-up of a two-parter, which I almost forgot because we had a glorious vacation week off where we didn't have to watch Superhero Time. And also, during that time, the Kamen Rider Legends special came out, so I guess unfortunately we did have to spend some time with that stuff. But I just got kind of distracted by the fact that I didn't have to watch the main show, and any of my attention on Gotchard was on Legend, so I kind of forgot what was going on for a hot minute, which was this sort of field trip storyline where we have the glasses guy character, who that's what I'm calling him, falling in love with this girl, and it was kind of spooky and supernaturally because it happened around Halloween, and this episode kind of continues that because they bond over their love of like supernatural stuff, and it ended on a cliffhanger of seemingly her having this boyfriend that was a member of this gang of escaped criminals that the villains were messing with, and we find out in this episode that it's actually her brother. And you know what, I have to say, this episode was interesting because I think overall it was actually, by Gotchard standards, a pretty solid episode, and the sort of twists and turns revolving the filler characters of the week were actually pretty good. The problem is I don't care about filler characters, and I want to know more about our characters, and I desperately want to care about one member of the Gotchard cast. All I have so far is, hey, Valivard's cool, and it makes me happy when he's mean to Hotaro. Like, that's it. Like, everything else is just, like, nothing, so... But again, credit where credit is due. I thought it was a decently strong filler episode story for these characters. And it wasn't an overall bad episode. It did bring to the forefront some of my core issues with the show. You know, in regards to the positives, like I said, I liked the story of the week. I liked, first of all, the twist kind of happened twice where I kind of thought I knew the way the episode was going to go. Like, I first thought, okay, it's going to be a weird love triangle between Glasses Guy and the bad boy. And then I thought, oh, it's going to be the brother's actually innocent. But it turns out the first twist, isn't actually innocent. He actually is the arsonist who, basically cracked under the pressure of having to pretend to be the perfect brother, and he actually kind of was a screwed up arsonist, and that's when the Kemi attaches to him. And then after they defeat him, the twist is the negative emotions then go to his sister, who becomes Kemi 2.0 because she's so upset over the fact that it seems like her happy memories with her brother are a lie. So that was cool. It was kind of a little bit of a twist turn there, and I liked that. And there was a nice moment with Glasses Guy saying to her, like, you know, don't throw away the good memories. You know, just because there's bad stuff that you're worried about with your brother, that doesn't mean that there wasn't good memories that are important to you to hold on to. And that was kind of a nice moment. So there was some good stuff there. There was also some decent action, a little bit of kind of background momentum of stuff the villains were playing up. Like I said, Gotchard standards, fairly solid episode. Now, where my sort of negatives come in are where we have the stuff with the forms again. Like, right at the start of the episode, we knew from the preview we were going to debut this new Gold Dash form, these two new Gold and Silver Robo-esque forms, and now these aren't, I've stopped paying attention to the categorizations. Like, back in my day, when I was, really, really into Rider, it was just main form, final form, and then middle form. And then now it's main form, super form, slight evolution 3, slight evolution 478, middle form 4, middle form 5. It's like, Jesus, we have so many forms now. But anyway, I don't think this is meant to be one of the super forms or obviously not mid-series form on episode 10, but it feels like one of those early ability forms that's a little something more special than the regular one-off forms, kind of like Decade's form in Geo, where it was technically like the ability forms, but it was a little bit different. So it feels like it deserves more than just very quickly opening up this episode. Like, this episode was a key example of how I hate they debut these things. Like, right at the beginning, we just all of a sudden debut Gold Dash, no circumstance whatsoever, and then right in the middle we do this new Rose Siren form, and then we finish off with Gold Dash again. Like, it was just so awkward, and again, I don't need a storyline for every single one, but I feel like there could have been a kind of cool build-up to Gold Dash or something. You know, I think we might be doing more with it next week with the other half of it, but it takes me right out of it. Like I said, the episode wasn't that bad, but we all know Toku's a glorified toy commercial, but Gotchard feels like it's almost a mini-series. It almost reminds me of Dino Force Brave, where it feels like it's just the bare necessities of a Toku plot just to sell the toys. It feels like there's nothing else put into it. And moments like that where we're rapid-firing through forms, it's like, did we really need the Rose police form? Speaking of, though, just to talk about superficial stuff, I'm not, in love with the design of the Rose Police form, aesthetically, but I, for some reason, kind of dig it just because I kind of love the unique mashup. Sometimes, I really will like those Toku, two things that shouldn't go together kind of work, and I do kind of dig that. And I don't mind the Mecha-E form. I'm not really a bigger fan of the bulkier Mecha-like Rider forms, and I'm kind of tired of the use of Gold and Silver in Sentai and Rider, but I don't mind them. But I just wish the pacing was better. And I know for a fact that in almost every Rider series I've reviewed, they always shotgun through these forms. They always, go through these forms really quickly, and I'm always complaining about it. And it's kind of always a battle of, like, I understand why they have to do it, I just wish they didn't. But at the end of the day, it doesn't impact the series. But I feel like Gotchard is exceptionally fast with this. Like, they always go through these early forms quick, but they're exceptionally fast with the ability forms here with this. Maybe it was that way with Geats too, but I think with Geats, it felt a little different just because of the way the system worked with the game and the driver and all that. Because they are almost presented more like power-ups or weapons in a game, it didn't feel so much. So that definitely brought, a lot of my negative criticisms of the series overall to the forefront. My other negative with the episode was this dumb moment when after she bonded with the Kemi, that he could, they're like, you can separate her from the Kemi, and he's like, no, I can't do it yet, because, and I'm like, I hate you! It basically, they start propping Hotaru up and say he's so great, he understands Kemis and humans. I'm like, you misspoke saying he's the worst human alive. But it's that thing that it's just that classic annoying torpy protagonist that everyone worships, and he hasn't really shown that he understands humans. He's really understanding Kemis more, and even then I don't buy a lot about the Kemi understanding. And this was a stupid moment where I understand why they did it, because they were trying to go for the emotional beat of Glasses Guy helping save her, but they could have had it both ways, where you don't have the writers doing dumb toku logic like this, and you can actually have him separate the girl and the Kemi, and then maybe she's on the ground defeated or crying, whatever. That's when you have that nice emotional moment with Glasses Guy saying, hold on to your good memories and stuff like that. You didn't need to do that dumb moment. I hate toku logic. It's the worst logic of all time. That definitely annoyed me. And then also, I happen to think of like how little I feel about the connection between him and the Kemis. As soon as he defeated the Kemi, he gets a card and goes, I befriended you. I'm like, there's absolutely no build up to that. Like, they're not sentient characters like Buddy Roids or anything like that, or, the Zenkai Jubatsu, I'm forgetting the name of it at the moment. But they're just like Pokemon-esque animals. I mean, to be fair, in real life, I do fight a Zigzagoon, capture it, it is my best friend for life after that. But in the show, it just doesn't work, and I couldn't help but think they could be doing more to make me feel the bond between him and the Kemis. Maybe have the storylines be about, like, okay, you have the humans with their desire that's causing the Kemi to go corrupt, but maybe it's influenced by the Kemi. Like, maybe the Kemi likes the brightness of a warm fire at like a camp or something, and then the evil Malice twists that, and you can get to understand the Kemi, and I don't know, I feel like it's just so shallow at this moment in time. I feel like I just did a lot of ranting, but that was the thing about this episode, is I thought on its own, in a vacuum, it was solid for Gotchard, but it just really reminded me of a lot of the problems I have with the series overall. Now, I did say I was going to stop reviewing weekly after episode 10, just because it's not the most fun show to talk about. Next week does look rather interesting, though, and there is possibly some interesting stuff on the horizon with Legend. Rumors of him even joining the show as a main cast member because they don't feel like the Gotchard stuff is working. I'm not sure. I think what I'm going to do at this present moment is after I watch next week's episode, I'm going to decide. I do plan on keeping up with watching the show because, watching more than one episode at a time of this sounds like the 9th level of hell. So I can't fall behind on it. So I will be continuing to cover it, but I'll kind of decide how I feel. If episode 11 or some of the developments feel significantly interesting to changing the status quo of the show, I might continue weekly. I'm just going to kind of play it by ear. But what do you guys think of this episode? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next week, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps to ring that bell to notifications for my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.